A conventional farm, they're using synthetic fertilizers, pesticides. That's sprayed on the plant, worked in the soil. The plant is absorbing this through the root, and it's going into the fruit or the tomato, and you cannot wash that out of the tomato. It's not on the tomato, it is in your tomato. And there's no way of washing or getting rid of that residue out of your tomato.
Andrea, isn't that just dirt?
No, Tom. This is soil. Dirt is dead. This is living soil. There's many organisms growing in soil, and they transfer nutrients from the plant roots to the soil and vice versa. The plant feeds the organisms in the soil, and them organisms bring nutrients to the plant, which is a big thing on quality of your food. Okay, what we have here, this is a 3-week-old tomato plant. It's looking pretty healthy, looking good. Could use a little trimming, but we'll get to that part. This tomato plant on our farm will get planted into the soil. There won't be any herbicides used on our farm. We'll use hand tillage and weed pulling. That's the fun part. And we will, as this grows, it'll be taking nutrients out of the soil and putting it into that fruit of the tomato. Most conventional farms use synthetic herbicides and pesticides. And when they put that in the ground, spray it on these plants, it goes into the soil. When it rains, it washed off, it's in the soil. And now, when you pick that tomato plant, well, you can wash it off the outside of the tomato. But what about the herbicides, the pesticides that are washed into the soil, absorbed through the roots, and now this is in your tomato? How do you wash that out? You don't. You don't. That is one reason why we do organically raise our crops organically. The manufacturer of these chemicals say that it goes away, but you be the judge.
So what's going to happen if I put pesticides in that soil?
Pesticides are going to harm the organisms living in the soil. It will change the soil makeup, and it breaks the chain of nutrients and food from the soil to the plant.
What's the benefit of me buying a share of this crop?
Okay, the benefit to the consumer is that they are getting fresh, local produce from their local family farms. They're not buying mass-produced, corporate-produced products.
That are traveling across the United States.
Right. The average food in the United States travels 1,600 miles to get to your plate.
Well, what's wrong with that model?
That's quite a carbon print. We're burning lots of fossil fuels to transport that food. This can all be locally, food can be produced. It just has to be supported.
So why is CSA model new?
No, CSAs have been around for a long time. About our CSA, our CSA is a certified organic vegetable produce. We do not use genetically modified seeds or GMOs. We're not using synthetic fertilizers. We're not using herbicides. We're not using toxic pesticides to produce this food. Our organic produce is grown with much care. We're taking care of this like our kids. We watch our produce constantly, from the time we're up in the morning till the time we go to bed at night. Our produce is our CSA. When you come and pick up your share from us, your produce is less than 6 hours picked. That's fresh.
With all the little bugs and critters that are included from your field.
Well, occasionally you're going to find a bug. They're natural to the environment, and they also like produce too. We try to promote predator insects like ladybugs for the aphids. There's all kinds. There's good bugs, there's bad bugs, but in the long run, a couple of bugs, if it's good enough for them to eat, it should be good enough for you to eat.
Is the CSA model working for you?
Yes, it is. The CSA on our farm, we know how many shares we have sold. We will overproduce for that. And we know how many people are coming each week so that we can do our succession planting, our harvest, and we know who's coming each week for our planting and harvesting. It makes it very convenient for us. Is the CSA model, are people accepting it? I think a lot of people are not sure what it is. I think when they find out that they can support a local family farm, we're seeing a very good acceptance from the public. They also are getting a very value added to their produce being locally grown than the grocery store traveling 1,500 miles to get that produce to your store. I had a lady call me. She wasn't real sure what a CSA was, but she was very accepting to support a local farmer, and she bought a share and is happy. Okay, some people have more produce coming in their box than they can eat in their week. Suggestions. Some of the products can be frozen, some can be canned. You can give some to your neighbor, but you're also getting, when the farmer produces plentiful, we want to give that to our share members. A lot of the questions we get is, what am I going to receive in my share box each week? Well, the season runs June to October. Your boxes will start out with salad greens, radishes. As the summer goes on, you'll start getting cucumbers, tomatoes, summer squash. As the summer goes on, you'll be getting peppers. As the fall goes on, you'll be getting into some of the winter squash, the broccolis, the cabbages. We grow a wide variety of vegetables that mature through the whole summer. So it's each week will be changing slightly as the season goes on. CSAs come in a lot of variables. Some will be short, 15 weeks. Some can be as long as 21 weeks. They also differ in the size of the share or box you'll be getting each week. Some are half bushels, some are bushels, some are bags. There's a lot of variable in there, and know what you're looking for. If you have a large family, you might want a CSA that offers a large box or a full share. If you're just eating for one or two people, maybe they have a small share or a mini box or a every other week. You have to do a little research on the CSAs that are out there. Some are organically, some are conventional CSAs. You have to know what you want.
So what's a great story you tell me?
Well, I'm the 5th generation on this farm, and I always remember the story my dad telling me about when he was a boy growing up during the Depression and the Dust Bowl years, that it was so dry that all the local lakes and ponds were drying up, and that's where they planted their potato crop, that they could get potatoes, and all the yields of the potatoes they got off of them lake beds and ponds, because the high ground was so dry it wouldn't grow any crop. I always remembered that story.
Are they still growing there, the potatoes?
No, the potatoes, unfortunately, we are not in the Dust Bowl years, so there is water in our lakes and ponds again, and we grow potatoes now on high ground.
Hey, does a farmer ever retire?
No, a farmer never retires. You don't take the farming out of a farmer. My dad is 87 years old, and if I needed some help, he is out here in the drop of my hat. He's always asking what he can do, or if he can help, or always wants to help. And God, I just hope I have half the energy he has when I'm his age. My pleasure, Tom. I really think the CSAs is a great thing for the consumer and the farmers. And please, please look into it. It's really a good thing, people.